by any policy I can see. I'm asking you to articulate the reason, ma'am.
Can you yell, but stand over there?
Well, I'm not trying to yell, I'm trying to communicate with you, but I don't know what words will reach you. And because my cultural background is to use a higher voice than you're used to, that's not reason for discrimination. I'm not here to disrupt. You are literally breaking the law. You understand that? I'm just asking you why you can assault me. You're in my... Do not assault me. You don't get to do not assault me.
You're the one who's pushing.
No, he's moving. He's moving to prevent my access. I can walk anywhere I want here. Look, I can walk here anywhere I want. Okay. You can't.
You cannot get in here.
Okay, you're not supposed to block this with this book. I can cover up and down this walkway legally, right? I don't. It might be trespassing to go into your store. I don't think it is. I've researched it. It's a public accommodation. It's a bookstore. You're open, and you haven't articulated why I'm being discriminated against.
Which part of it you don't understand? You cannot.
Why?
Because if there's an employee who claims you've harassed them, you don't have the legal right to.
No, because he needs to have clear and concise evidence. There's a whole standard. I'm a paralegal.
Oh yes, for who?
What do you mean for who? It doesn't matter who.
No, so
I understand.
You're just one of those unemployed paralegals.
What do you mean unemployed, dude? I'm a citizen. I know. I understand the law. What do you mean? Why do you need to be employed to have a discussion about the law?
I'm not saying you do.
Well, I'm just saying I understand the law. All I'm saying is I understand the law, and you don't. And you're trying to check my employment credentials. All I'm trying to do is cover this event or be a customer.
None of those.
Okay, why? Why can you discriminate against me? Why can you discriminate against me? I want to know what the reason is. Can I get it? Can I get a written notice and I'll walk away?
You are already having it.
No, I just write it down. Write it down on a piece of paper saying I'm excluded. Write down the reason and I'll leave. I want you to articulate why you're discriminating, why you advance discrimination, why you're smearing me. I am being intimidated, guy.
Very intimidating.
Why?
Get easy.
Because you are hallucinating.
Walk away.
Why am I intimidating? I just tried to walk in. They blocked the way. Why? We're in the hallway, dude.
It's weird that all of us are hallucinating.
No.
We weren't even here for the event, but yet we're hallucinating.
No, because you're intimidated. Why are you intimidated by me talking?
We're not.
Well, he said he was.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. G.
This is.
I don't know. What am I?
This is
She.
what it says.
What am I supposed to apologize? You.
Can you read?
What's that? That doesn't. I'm not. I'm not. You're acting like the fascist. I'm just trying to cover an event. I'm trying to exchange ideas. How would you like me to address you? What's your name?
Teresa.
Teresa. My name's Ty. So I'm intimidating you by not shaking my hand. If we can exchange an idea of a handshake,
Very intimidated.
right? So will you shake my hand?
I don't really want to touch you.
I'm not worth it. So you are. I know this is what I want to document. Why are you adverse to communicating and shaking hands, which is a social norm?
I mean, I don't have to shake your hand.
No, I extended. It's a social norm. That's all. And I was going to shake your hand, and you didn't want to. I'm just asking. See, have you thought the thing through? Why are you repelled by logic and by somebody who's trying to do the media function? All I'm trying to do is just understand the ideas.
Listen to yourself.
What's that? If you say you can't record inside my store, I'd say okay. So you can't articulate, but you can't articulate the reason. That's the problem is you just discriminated by me because you hallucinated on what some group. Because I might be adversarial to your opinion. That's not how public access works. I'm supposed to be able to come in here and look to see what goods. I'm a prospective customer. I would spend money here.
You repeated that 100 times. You got the answer 100 times.
No, I didn't. You haven't
are
given me an
not
answer.
allowed.
Why am I not allowed? What's the legal reason?
Just arbitrarily make that decision.
Arbitrary? Can I get it on paper then? Just write it on a piece of paper so I have some documentation. I'll walk away. So, where do we go from here, guys?
There's one way that can be solved. For you, what the fuck out of it. That's all.
Why am I being prevented from attending a public event? Is this a public event? So how does that apply to me?
You've been here for 10 minutes. You haven't stopped talking.
I'm trying to gain access to your store. I stopped talking just now. Go ahead.
That's it. You're not allowed.
So your litmus test is I have to stop talking while I'm in a public access area?
Whatever the test, do not allow. Period.
What is the test? What is the legal test? Can I get your name?
You got the
Can I get your name? Are you the owner of the store?
Joe Schmo.
Joe Schmo. See, the thing is, I need to have somebody who represents the store.
You are not that type.
I need to have somebody who represents the store. I want to know what legal reason I have for you to. You won't even identify yourself as a manager. All you are is a thug. You're no different than a thug. What's your name, guy? Why are you acting like somebody who's disrespecting my right to passage?
You are not.
No, if you were inside the store, why would you use that type of language, guy? Well, you haven't even identified yourself. What's your name? Are you an employee of the store? Are you representing the store? What's your name?
You want a break?
Yeah. No, okay.
Have a break.
Are you giving him agency? What's your name? Are you a representative of the store? See, the thing is, I want to build. What's the legal reason for here? You don't care? Laws don't matter to you guys? Can I get your name? My name's Ty. Call you as a witness? No? Teresa? No? I apologize for misidentifying you. Hopefully I didn't hurt your feelings too bad. Sorry about that. I should have asked. I guess it's awkward. But, where do we go from here? I'm not trying to be a fascist. I'm just trying to exchange ideas. I'm trying to gain access to a public event. You can't exclude based upon if you sold tickets, if it was closed, but it's in a public accommodation. It's like saying you can't buy gas here because I don't like the car you drive. That's called arbitrary and capricious. I know you think it's funny, but what prevents people from being discriminated against based on any reason that they hallucinate? They think I'm somebody. What you think I'm intimidating? Would you like to communicate, or you just find it humorous because you're uncomfortable with exchanging ideas? No, I'm just asking you. I'm drawing an emotional reaction, or is it just? Are you act like everybody else? Are you an actor or an actress? She is. So this is an act. All right, thank you. I assume that's yes. Because he nodded yes. So is he your agent, or can I book you for a gig? See, I can go any which way. I'm here to exchange ideas. I'm here to learn. I would be silent if that's the case. If they allowed questions, I would ask questions. I'm not here to disrupt. This is how we learn. The whole Constitution set up so we exchange commerce to break down this stuff. The beads for goods, the ideas, the books for money. As opposed to this. This is fascism right here. On a public accommodation, this is fascism. You can look it up. You know about public accommodation? They're open, they're a bookstore. I've asked him, I've qualified. There's nothing here that precludes me from attending this event. If he says it's a private event, I'll move on. I asked him to write it down. I've asked him to identify me as store management. He hasn't done it. So I want to know, what's the reason? I'm trying to understand why ignorance is intoxicating to you guys. You see, they're just acting. See, the thing is, all you are is acting. And so how do you know, so I'm not allowed in here? Can I get the official manager to just put a piece of paper saying why I'm excluded? It's a very reasonable request.
You are doing
For what? No, you are physically. How dare you? You're moving. See, I'm trying to avoid conflict.
I don't want to allow you.
Sorry about that. Let me pick that up for you. How much is it? The thing is, I don't think you can. Amber.
Hey, how are you?
All right, good.
It's good to see a fellow American here.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't want to sit here and just get into an emotional fray here. I wanted to have you guys articulate the fact that you have no legal reason to keep me out. It was a public event. You excluded me. It was a public accommodation. You weren't selling tickets, and you harassed and assaulted me. I didn't harass and assault anybody. All I did was document it. I'm at a public accommodation called a Revolutionary Bookstore, and they had a public event, and I was assaulted and harassed. I was harassed and intimidated and not allowed to attend a public event. I believe California law is that public accommodations can't exclude. I wanted to be a customer, and at the worst, I wasn't going to. All I wanted to do was cover it either from a media perspective or from a customer and listen, and they prevented me and sent goons on me. And is there a way I can file a complaint?
Okay, so what kind of complaint is it that you're trying to file?
Well, it's a harassment and intimidation complaint. California Civil Code 51.7 precludes discrimination based on, arbitrary and capricious means.
Okay, so where did this all happen?
I'm here in the hallway. They blocked off the public access. It's at Revolution Bookstores. Let me get the address for you. Hey, do you have an address, guy? Can you articulate to the police officer why I can't come in? Do you have an address? Do you have an address? I don't know. They don't have an address.
They're building a wall.
Do you have an address, sir?
They think under Marxism and communism that privacy.
They're gonna keep all their.
Let me see here. They have a poster here. It is at 2444 Durant Avenue, and their phone number is 848. Here, let me grab my glasses. 1196. Are you there? Hello?
Anti-gay, he probably thinks he's a good man. They probably have t-shirts there which I saw it on a live stream, but I never thought he would be this bad.
Hello?
Hi, thanks for holding. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Is there an address?
Yes, it is. Sorry for the delay. 2444 Durant Avenue, ma'am? Or officer?
Okay, so what exactly happened?
Well, they blocked the public access in front of their store. I don't know if they have a permit to put books on the public walkway. They sent 3 goons out to prevent me from entering a public accommodation, which is a bookstore. I wanted to be a customer and or listen to the advertisement that they have on your city streets that starts at 6 p.m. And, they arbitrarily started calling me names and blocking access to a public accommodation.
Who's they?
They want. Can I get a name, sir? You don't want to identify yourself? He doesn't want to identify himself. He's unidentified.
Employees inside?
No. Well, they said they were. Well, they wouldn't identify. One of them appeared to be, and either that they're an employee or they're acting as an agent of the employee, but they've refused to identify themselves. They're just goons. It's just a gang.
Okay, so what kind of crime has happened?
Crime, trespassing for one thing. They're in a public access way, and they prevented me from walking, forth. Assault? I mean, you can't prevent me from walking because they prevented me.
Did they physically push you, or what do you
Yes,
mean by that?
when I was walking, they would move into my defensive defensive in front of me, and I couldn't move sideways, left and right. They had three people who blocked me in.
If you guys had a better idea, you'd be more inclusive.
My point is this is a public accommodation. We're supposed to allow people, to shop. I wasn't disruptive on the inside. They were disruptive on the outside, and they made it seem like I was the one who was harassing them.
That's what they do.
I'm trying to do everything legal. I would say my name's Guy Tyho Decker,
And actually ask
or Ty Decker. Just call me Ty Decker, C-A-I Decker.
Do you guys have a Q&A here? Milo Yiannopoulos had a Q&A.
Is your phone number 938-8594?
Yes, ma'am.
Q&A here?
Okay, so how many of these employees have prevented you from
Are you all employees or just all the goons of employees? Are you an employee, sir?
Because they know their ideas.
Are you an employee?
And they kill-
He won't identify himself as an employee.
That wasn't the question. So how many people was it that prevented you from
I would say probably a half a dozen in rotation,
Defend your genocide.
maybe five. They rotated.
Defend, it's not defendable.
They rotated through.
What's the name of the business there?
Revolution, Revolution in bookstores. Revolutionary Books. Revolution. Sorry, no ARY. Books.
Are you going to be standing by for an officer to contact you?
Sure. I tried to notify the officer on my way here. What's that?
Hey, I need you to answer my questions. Okay, what race are you? How old are you? What are you wearing?
I don't want to give my particulars to. I don't know how you identify me. My mother's. I can tell you. I can tell you what my father. I can tell you what my mother and my father were. I'm an American. So what do I identify with? My mother was Japanese. My dad's German Irish. You log.
And how old are you about?
53.
What are you wearing?
White T-shirt and blue pants. Or white.
And are you standing by in front of the business?
Yeah, I'm on the public sidewalk.
Okay, I'll have an officer come out and talk to you, okay?
I appreciate your help. Thanks for your help. Bye bye.
Sell it to me, get it? Sell it to me. Get me on board. We'll stay silent, hang out, keep my opinion.
Yeah, you guys are the machine. At least on the other side, you believe that everyone can be a leader.
If someone wants to talk, let's talk. Sell it to me. Come on, sell it to me. I'm willing to try. Nothing to sell. Just all try.
This is amazing. What happened?
They're gonna send somebody. So what I'm waiting for right now is a police officer to arrive. I just want to document the conversation for public accommodation, harassment, intimidation. So I can just move on from here.
Back up.
If there's nobody joining, so that's cool. Hey, just waiting for police. I don't know if they're gonna take forever or not. I'm at Revolution Bookstore. I was here to cover both as a media or as a member of the press, an event that they advertised. In October 1917, blah, 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 led millions. They don't talk about the Hitler and communist pact, 1937 or thereabouts to 1941. So I did. I called the cops, Susan. That's what I'm waiting for. So I'm going to ask them if they've heard about the harassment, intimidation, preventing me from accessing a public accommodation, which is what an open bookstore is, and document how we should handle these things moving forward. I want to make sure that there's not going to be, I'm not blocking the passageway. I'm waiting on the sidewalk, and we're just trying to figure out how Berkeley works here. If their discrimination is unlawful, and yet they, I don't know what they're going to do. Hopefully everything works out. It's funny, they wanted my race. I just thought that was offensive. What does my race have anything to do with it, right? I should have just said I was a favored race. Maybe they would rush to my rescue. Lawful is not, and constitutional isn't well, in any case, I'm just popping off right now. Who asked what? I'm fine. I did. I have it on the record. I'm trying to find out what the police response to something like this is, because it's I just want to document, on a civil complaint, what's going on. They say what crime, and I'm like, harassment, intimidation, assault. If somebody comes out in the hallway and prevents you from passing, what crime is that? That's what they're asking me to define for them. They're the police officer. It just seems disingenuous. Oh, good. It's posted? All right, cool. So here we are at 619. Basically, a police department that doesn't rank constitutional rights important is going to not respond. But of course, they have priorities. I don't know what their typical response time is, but we don't have a football game going on. There doesn't seem to be any other disturbance in the area, and there is something going on here. But let me see what that is. Looks like fire. There's cars passing, so. This is what it would be like in Selma, is what I'm trying to describe to you guys, all right? So this is, if you were black in Selma, this is the type of tactics that they would use. If you were Japanese in California, this is what happened to my mom. This is what they don't understand. They want to intern people who they don't agree with, who they don't like, who they look. They had no idea who I was. They blocked me because they didn't like how I looked. That's the key thing is. The parallel to Japanese internment is identical. Are you blocking me because I'm Japanese? Or of Japanese heritage? I'm American. Are you blocking me because I'm American? Sir? Earlier, I'm asking you, why would you harass me? Why would you intimidate me? And why would you assault me? What's your name? Are you an employee of the store, sir? Are you an employee of the store? Do you have a permit to have this out here? Is this illegal? Is this unlawful to have your books blocking public access? It looks like a legitimate transaction, so I'll step away. See, I can't even learn what they're learning in here. That's why, I mean, how do I communicate with them? I'm obviously not speaking their words. But their words are just to smear me. They accused me of being something I'm not. Accused me of being a protected class that I'm not. Right here, this Constitution for the New Socialist Republic of North America. That's a revolutionary communist, Bob Avakian. Hey, can I come in with you?
I'm just going in to learn about the Soviet Union.
Exactly, I would like to also. You seem to have a lot of equipment with you.
Oh, no, I just have a big box.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying, I only have a phone that I'm not letting in here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I'll put this in here. And, go on in.
Is there a reason that differentiates the two of us? That you could articulate? I don't see it.
I don't know.
You seem to have a lot more equipment than I do, so it can't be equipment.
Oh, yeah, well, the box is empty.
Right. I'm just saying.
I understand, yeah. Well, I can't, I don't know what happened when you talked with them.
All right, have a good day.
Good luck.
So, are you a prospective customer?
Take this, leave this behind.
Excuse me, sir. Are you a prospective customer?
No, I just want to learn their
So you have no admission. I'm just. What was the admission criteria? You know the mission criteria?
Have you ever seen this in the Patriot rally at all? Like, have you ever seen this like
No,
blocking
we
people
would not
out
discriminate.
like
We would not discriminate.
this? No, look.
No. But they let somebody in.
Taking their time.
We
to
would
put
never
all of that
discriminate.
stuff.
We're
Like,
in
they took their time to block all of this.
But
out.
they will.
For what? If you really believe in your idea, fight it. What is it?
I should have brought another phone to ask what their response time is. See the. See, here's the. I'm sorry. Here's the thing: is all they have to do now is wait for the time benefit to pass. You know, what, half hour, hour? How long is one supposed to wait? Non-response. I don't show up. Oh, when we showed up, this is what it was like in Selma. This is what it was like to be black in the deep South. The liberals are no different than they were back then. They hallucinate characteristics that aren't there.
Look at that shirt. Ain't that racist?
The thing is, the words change, but the ideas are the same. The ideas of racism. They looked at me and they somehow excluded me
Speak louder than words.
based solely upon what my looks were.
That shirt. I used to be a white American, but I gave up interest in humanity. Like, what would you even do?
Hey Jordan. Yeah, I'm trying to wait for the police response. I don't know how long ago did I call when I started this video. However long this has been going on, I started it right after I called. So whatever the time period is, I'm sure these guys, Berkeley police are busy. They weren't expecting a big thing. I did talk to two officers on the street and told them I was coming here and that I didn't expect any trouble, and they said neither do we, so that was cool. So I've again tried to lay all the groundwork to do the right thing. Hey there, sir. Are you aware of discrimination laws about public accommodations?
What are the discrimination laws?
That if you're open to the public, then you can't just discriminate based on arbitrary and capricious hallucinated characteristics. There's no disturbance. It's just we don't like you.
No, California has a law that says you can refuse service to anyone.
No, it's they have actually the Ralph Act. It's called. You should look up. It's California Civil Code 51.7.
Yeah.
It's called the Ralph Act, and it was designed to prevent either side of the political
But if you're going
fascists.
to disrupt
No, I was there to learn. I was there to be a customer. They created a block and assaulted me and wouldn't let me walk around them. Shined flashlights in my face.
Well, they're afraid of you guys.
No, they're not afraid. No, they're organizing domestic terrorism. It's like,
No, that's Antifa.
who do you think is Antifa? It's the same people.
Oh, you sure?
That's what I'm here to document. As a member of the press, as a member of the consumer, I want to hear there. I want to know what they're organizing. See, the thing is, all you got to do is layer it and make it seem like plausible deniability. But I've attended these before. Not Revolutionary Bookstore. I haven't been here. I just want to know. I just want to follow up on this. Look, it's a public sign there. It's a public meeting. I should be allowed, but they said no because. Because why? Because we wanted to. This is what it was like to be. This is what it was like to be in Selma. The skin colors and the words can change, but the actions are the same. Arbitrary and capricious discrimination.
As long as there's no death threats, because they've been getting death threats.
Oh well, I don't know death threats. That's yeah. How do you know they're not calling it in, right?
No, they're playing back recording.
I know, but the way that
are actually.
I'm sure they are, but how does that affect me? Don't they have death threats in the White House? Do they prevent everybody from entering the White House?
No, if they have death threats, that's actually a federal offense.
I know, but how does that? Why would you even? Why would that remote possibility of something that has nothing to do with me affect me? As in a public accommodation.
Yeah,
So,
well, they don't know who you guys are, and that's.
What do you mean they don't know who you guys? I'm you.
Yeah, I know.
I'm you just walking up here with the phone.
These people, they're afraid of.
No, they're not afraid. They smear and they use deception and false accusations to create mob mentality.
Right.
I'm trying to do what Berkeley did back in the 60s and 70s. You know why? It's because my mom, if she was Japanese, she was prevented.
Every time these groups get together and have their demonstrations and it turns into chaos, I lose. I've lost $2,500 this year so far because people don't come to Berkeley when they know you.
That's my point. I've tried to communicate, but before April 15th, I was trying to talk to the mayor and the Chamber of Commerce to say, why don't we just throw a Patriots Day and invite people in? Commerce will solve the problem. Inviting people in.
But everybody's afraid.
No, they're not afraid.
There's a guy that drives up through here. He runs red lights with a big American flag on it.
Well, that's illegal.
I know, but that's what.
I know. So what? How does that have to do with me? Okay, so some random person. I know.
I understand the group that you're with.
But also, somebody committed murder in Berkeley. Why don't you flag him also? There was somebody who just exposed themselves the other day.
Yeah,
why don't you?
I
include? I know, but why don't you also talk about that? Why talk about? Why associate me with some guy who's a red light runner? I'm not in the car.
Associating you with anybody.
Well,
I'm just saying that
there's no rational reason. I asked for them to articulate. They didn't say fear. They just said we don't want you here. You can't do that. You can't discriminate arbitrarily. I'm here to either absorb and get educated and find out what words these guys are saying because I don't know what words to communicate. Right?
I understand.
Yeah.
I am.
Right. But my point is don't.
But I want it to remain peaceful because if it isn't peaceful, what happens is people from Walnut Creek, Oakland, people from other areas do not come to Berkeley when there's this going on.
Right. What causes the violence? You think it's the people visiting or the people in black mass? You think
the people in black mass
are the ones? Those guys are the communists. Those are they call them democratic socialists, but it's revolutionary communism. It's one and the same. It's revcom.us. You can look it up. It's all. It's all in the.
But the Antifa, those are anti-fascists, right?
No. Anti-fascists. See, they say that they're communists because they say, after Hitler stabbed us in the back in 1941 on the non-aggression agreement, they were BFS with Hitler before then. They had no problem with fascism. So I don't buy any of that crap. They say anti-fascism. They're not blood related to any of these people. You don't get to have some type of grace of blood. What do they call it? Blood corruption, but blood divinity? Right, because you say a word and you act like it. That's what Hitler did. He said the right words. He said the right words and did the wrong things. They're saying the right words and doing the wrong things.
I know. I don't believe in comedy. But
Well, I know, but I believe
But I believe that-
I believe in commerce, and I wanted to go and be a customer.
yeah, exactly.
I want to have this be a vibrant. Can you imagine how cool this would
Books
be?
in there. They don't just have comedy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. I think we're on the same page. We're protecting the same rights. It's just they're the problem is their poison is a virus because you think that they're fearful. They're not fearful. They're obviously not fearful of me. They harass me and they say the words, but they're not because they obviously didn't fear me. They sent out goons. So I don't. That's why it was important for me to come here as an individual and to show and to illustrate what the internment of Japanese, what it felt like to be a Japanese in California, or what it felt to be black in Selma. It's the same mechanism. It's the abuse of authority. So, have a good day. Hey, can I come along as your guest? Can I come along as your guest, or is he allowed in? Does he have the right look? Well, I'm not allowed in here, so I'm just trying to figure out what physical characteristics it takes. What was the admission criteria for the other gentleman? I'm asking him because he's blocking the thing. I'm just trying to document. I'm trying to see if he's had a chance to think about it. I'm trying to engage. Is it a capacity issue, sir? And I'm going to take one each of these. All right, thank you. Or I mean, can I please? Sorry. Can I? Thank you. I'd like to have one for November 4th. Excuse me. That's all. Thank you. Just one of each, that's it. That's all I asked for. Can I get a yellow copy too? Just page separator. Oh, well, sorry. I asked, sorry. I'll get that. Let me please. No, I caused the problem. Let me pick it up. Hey, are you guys a spokesperson for any of these programs? Thank you, by the way. I appreciate it. You see that obviously that was a demonstration that they were in league to do something because she prevented the accumulation of their propaganda. And then he said it was okay. Obviously, the optics were really bad. So, you know, it's well, I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be peaceful on the 4th, but the words that they use sure are intimidating and harassing. Hey, sir, would you like to comment on what you saw in there? Can I get a statement on what you saw? No? Just to document that there's no film, no video. This is a public passage. They're the ones who are breaking the law. What are you talking about? I'm trying to see if there's a policy here to prevent me from using a camera to view their displays. What's a dox? Explain to me what that means to you. They use special coded words, I guess, that only applies. Can you define what a dox means, sir? Hey, I'm going to, I'm going to set the phone up toward the roof so I can fold the literature away, all right? So, I'm still here. Still here. All right. All right. All right. So. Hey, what up, Jordan? Just trying to. Hey, what up?
Saw your little live streams and everything. What's going on here?
Just trying to document what's going on. I don't know.
Can I help you?
Hi, 918, Officer 918. I was waiting for a response here at Revolution Bookstores. I didn't know what the response time is, but I called quite a bit ago. Do you have that?
Okay, I'm sorry. The officers were working in another emergency, so we don't have officers on the way just yet. Hang on just 1 second for me.
Appreciate your help. Thank you.
You're a great guy.
Hey, by the way, emergency communications can be recorded, right?
Yes,
Okay.
they are all recorded.
So I have your authorization. Thank you. Just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I'm just.
No, it's recorded on our end.
Can I get a copy of it later with a FOIA? Or a.
You would need to make contact with our records division. There are certain requirements of
You know what those are?
releasing those types. I don't. That's the records division, so you'll need to make contact with them during a week. We do have it as still as the call for service, and the officers will be there as soon as we can. It is the next call to be dispatched. Unfortunately, they are working an emergency
Sure,
right now.
of course,
so
of
it
course.
might take a little bit for that to clear up.
No, I understand. All right, well.
Has anything changed? Sorry, has anything changed?
Just your time is of the essence, but you know, no, they've allowed people the entrance and exit, and I've asked them what criteria that they use. They wouldn't respond.
So, I'm sorry, let me understand this correctly. They are blocking...
Well, it's past that. It's right now they have an event going on. It's a public accommodation, and they harassed and intimidated me to prevent me from coming in. They sent a rotating crew of anywhere from 3 to 5 people to prevent me from making passage on a public walkway. They set up signs in bookstores or in a bookshelf to intimidate, to put me in a situation of intimidation. And it's a public accommodation.
Go across the street and
No.
walk on the other side?
No, it's a public accommodation. It's a violation of California Civil Code 51.7. I just want to move it forward so that we know what we can and can't do, and I just wanted to, I want to be lawful, and I want to increase commerce in Berkeley. The only way to do that is by doing the rule of law, and I'm just trying to demonstrate to them they can't arbitrarily discriminate. This is what it's like to be in Selma in the 60s, or Japanese. I saw my mom be prevented from going into stores because they didn't like the way she looked. There's no difference, it's just different words.
You were trying to go inside the business and they were refusing to allow you to go inside?
Aggressively so. They assaulted me both with a flashlight, and whenever I tried to move, they blocked my passage.
They physically hit you with a flashlight?
No, they didn't hit me. It's just, well, when you use assault, though
Assault is one person physically attacking another person.
well, they prevented my. Okay, so was it battery when they move in my way and prevent me from walking forward? What would it be like in Selma if white guys prevented a black person from moving forward or entering a store that he was legally allowed? No, I'm asking.
I am not going to get into this semantics with you.
But-
I'm trying to get the
Yeah,
facts.
so that's why I don't know. Well, the facts are is that
Have and understand.
they used a flashlight both in my eyes and in my equipment, and then also they had a rotating group of people to intimidate and harass me to prevent me from accessing. Like I couldn't even access the public walkway because they had it blocked off with the bookcase, about 30-40% of it, and so it created an intimidation and harassment. This is what that law is meant to prevent. And if they had I asked them to articulate what the reason for my non-admission. They pointed to a sign that said I'm a fascist. I'm like, that doesn't apply to me. I'm here, both as a member of the press and as
Are you in front of the business for contact?
I'm on the sidewalk waiting to resolve
You're
this.
on the sidewalk in front of 2443.
I'm in front of 20. I'm in between 2430 and 2446, trying to keep from. I'm not right in front of the bookstore entrance anymore.
Are you white, black, Hispanic?
I'll tell you what my mother's heritage is, and you can do the roulette if you want. But I'm American.
How about if you tell me what you look like so that the officer knows who to look for?
Sure, no problem. I'm wearing a gray visor with a white collarless shirt and blue nylon pants.
And your race, or what do you appear to be? White, black, Hispanic?
I don't know. You're gonna have to. After they see me, once they tell you, then I'll repeat
How
that.
tall are you?
I told my mom's Japanese, my dad's German Irish.
How tall are you?
Almost 6 foot. So 5'11", 6 foot. 6 foot probably in shoes. What's that? I'm
how
heavy
much do
set.
you weigh?
I'm heavy set.
All right, I'll have the officer make contact as soon as
I contacted.
Give me a call back.
Okay, I contacted 2 officers who were on the street and told them, I didn't. There's nothing planned today, and they said no, and I go, I don't expect any problems. I'm going to the bookstore. All right. So this happened previously before I even walked over here. All right.
I need to let you go to get another number.
Understood.
Give us a call back.
Well, what's the expectation? How much time should I wait? Hello?
As long as the other emergencies that are in progress take to clear up. We
Got you.
we don't have a time frame for that. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Each situation
Of
is
course.
different.
I'll let you
But
take the
you're
other calls.
next call to be dispatched.
I appreciate the information. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take care. Bye bye.
Okay.
They're going to defend their idea through silence. So it's a person. I don't think
Why did you decide to do that?
I was just curious to see how tall they are and how willing they are to engage in. Oh, gosh.
This is what they. Listen, what's the word I came up with? It's indistinguishable from somebody who was harassing somebody and didn't want to put priority on de-escalating constitutional rights. This is what, we've all seen it. We've seen it in Rambo. We've seen it in all the Sidney Poitier films. My mom saw it when she was up. It's a discrimination based on they didn't like how I looked, and they hallucinated what I was going to do. I don't even think they hallucinate. They just know. They know that they're not the good guys. Hello, this Ty.
I'm agreeing with it. I'm not talking over you. I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him. Yeah, can you hear me? I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. No, I just want to. I want to do what's lawful and either document or file a complaint or make a citizen's arrest against a gentleman who organized an assault and intimidation against me in a public access in front of Revolution bookstores. There was an open bookstore, and based on arbitrary circumstances, they harassed and intimidated me. They violated my rights. They prevented me from moving forward. I just want to know, are you familiar with the public accommodation laws? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Let's see now. How would I put this? I would have to hypothesize. My thing is, what if they were organizing programs that are unlawful, and they didn't want to be found out? What's it? You're making me. I wasn't there. They won't communicate with me. So I don't know how to communicate, because I don't want to cloud or prejudice our conversation. By the way, I thought you were somebody else, so I apologize initially. I didn't know it was a police officer. I'm embarrassed that I called you. That I referenced you as a friend. Okay, so in essence, put yourself in Selma. In Selma. Yes, sir. I'm on the sidewalk just waiting to get advice from the Berkeley police on how I should proceed. I appreciate that. Thank you.
For me, I just felt like I was going to lose. If someone wants to gamble to me, I can go to it. So I have always stayed away from it. Even as a kid, 5, 6 years old, whatever, when we're doing jacks and whatnot, Pokemon cards, stay away from it. Gamble to me means lose. And my biggest bet that I actually did gamble on was who's going to be the next president of the United States. I had that $100 on that. I was not afraid to gamble there. And I won. To me, gamble there did not mean lose. I knew I was going to win.
You make me wish I just put down $1 on Cthulhu so I could say I did.
All right, Cthulhu. No lives matter. Slave humanity.
I don't care what your political party is. You gotta believe this is the greater evil.
That is serious.
That was to keep us together.
You might as well call it Cthulhu. That's what they call it. They want to keep us fighting. This all happened. They want us to kill each other. The whole thing is population control. What better way to have population control to get them to kill each other?
Do you want to work with evil and profit, which means introducing a series of diseases to the time period?
That still sounds like a lot more sport. It's not as convenient.
Hi, just bringing you up to speed. I'm starting another live stream. Hopefully going to talk to a police officer who I just spoke to, who said that essentially he was unaware of a public accommodation laws and wanted to see if he could talk to me as opposed to resolve the unlawful civil rights violation. Again, I want to underscore, this is what it's like to have been black in Selma, or what it was like to be Japanese in the second half of the 20th century, or Oriental. There's a story about being Asian, and it saved some Jewish refugees in occupied China because the Jewish were chased by some Nazis, and the Jewish people said that we're Asian, just like you, and that de-escalated that situation, and the Japanese gave them coverage. It's very important for us to understand that the same mechanisms used by these people of communism, of hate, and they invent and hallucinate words. They don't even believe them, right? Have you guys changed your mind? Can I enter the store? No? Can you articulate why I can't?
No means no.
No, well, it's a public accommodation. It shouldn't mean no. I mean, what if they said no to you? If you went into a store and you asked them why? Well, what, Rosa Parks should have left the bus? You know what it was like to be Oriental in the late half of the 20th century in America? This is what it felt like. This is what it felt like.
You'd probably be on a floor if you were Oriental because you'd be a rug, you know?
Wow, that's racist.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. The Orient was a region of Marco Polo discovery, and it's much more accurate than saying Asian. Asian includes Russia, Israel, many parts of the Middle East, India. So, I mean, is there anything else I can educate you about? Oriental's not a rug.
I'm not into history or that.
Yeah, you're obviously racist, so Oriental's not a rug. Yeah, they might be closed now, but they weren't closed when I showed up. See, this is the delay. All the police have to do is delay the tactics. It wasn't, you know, there's a Facebook post of me approaching, and the harassment, intimidation I faced. So I'm just trying to document. I'm trying to involve the police. This is what civil society is supposed to do. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to try to reach out to law enforcement. But to tell you the truth, I don't support BLM, but this is the angst of the BLM, meaning that institutions have failed them. They don't want to call, okay, so I'm going to talk in stereotypes and generalizations. The black population in general does not want to call police department because nothing ever positive, again, it's a caveat, generalization, should never use generalizations, but for brevity, right? So here's a police officer. Oh, again, so this is what my mom faced when she was in California. This type of discrimination, prevented from going into stores, just based solely upon her looks. When you see the setup of the Patriot Prayer, where they are interning people just for wanting to talk about the civil rights, they were interning the patriots. Joey Gibson, who I met briefly, we're all unrelated, concerned citizens. Because these guys are the ones who are organizing the Antifa. This right here, see, they want to replace our Constitution. And that's revcom.us. It's a sedition, really. If they didn't want to replace our form of government, I think they would have much less resistance. But what they do is they're using violence and emotional engineering on themselves to think that they're fighting fascism when they're the fascists. They don't even remember that they were best friends with Hitler. They meaning communists and Nazis. Non-aggression pact until they got stabbed in the back and blah, blah, blah. Or people probably don't even know that. So, yeah, the communists and Hitler were BFFs. 1937 or 38 to 41. Well, the police officer did show up and then he left, so
So it sounds like the problem's gotten so bad that they made it illegal to have a liquor store within a mile of campus. My question is, why did it get so bad?
Oh, no, what he's trying to say is
Is that a police officer?
One person, I understand that.
Yay, thank you for translating.
That's what I.
So the problem is, if I get lured away from the bookstore, then they'll probably try to detain me and do all sorts of stuff. This is what happens. You know, they'll allege, oh, I was paranoid delusional or whatever. It's communists do this stuff. It's what they call re-education. But, you know, this is the stuff I learned in high school. Unfortunately, they don't teach it anymore. That, you know, they use psychology. That's why they debrief prisoner of war, is to understand what techniques were used against them to force compliance. And that's what communism is forced compliance. Cool. I guess it was, I take that back, basically. They were, hello there. He wants to draw me away from the bookstore, and I'd rather document what's going on here. So, sure. Well, the police did respond. Tell them to come here. Hey, officer. This is the walkway that they blocked. These are the gentlemen who assaulted me and harassed me and prevented. I'm sorry? Yes, sir. Hi there. Okay, can I get your name? Officer Hom and Driscoll? Can I have the people come along?
I'd like to just talk to you right now, if that's okay.
All right.
All right, let's get your information.
Ty or Decker, Decker. Guy Tyho Decker.
Your first name?
GUI, but I go by Ty, my middle name. So I just go by Ty, T-A-I.
What's your actual first name?
I just Ty's fine.
Ty is your legal first name?
No, but it's Guy Tyho Decker. I said, but I go by Ty, so it's kind of just it's confusing. That's
I'm
all.
just trying to ask you your name.
And I gave it to you. It's Guy Tyho Decker.
Okay. So Guy is your legal first name?
Well,
DUI?
no, I go by my parents call me Tyho, and Ty.
What's on your driver's license?
It's Guy Tyho Decker.
Okay, so your first name's Guy.
Guy. No, well, yes.
Do you have a driver's license?
Yes, I do.
That's probably the easiest way.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Because I want to go there for grabs.
What race would I be classified under based upon your optical? That was somewhat offensive.
Worry about your driver's
I'm asking you a specific question. Am I allowed to ask questions, or is that too offensive? I'm trying to help. So I'd like to file a violation of California Civil Code 51.7, intimidation and harassment for arbitrary reasons. By the way, I did talk to 2 officers on the street saying I was going to come over here and I didn't expect any issues, and I saw the organizing sign and wanted to attend, and I was blocked. So I had looked up public accommodation ahead of time, and being a store during business hours, they're not supposed to block entrance to the store.
As a store, a business owner has the right to refuse service to whoever they want.
No, not based on arbitrary reasons. That's what it's like to be in Selma.
They have the right to refuse service.
Isn't Isn't that like how do you prevent discrimination then if that's the case?
They just have the right to refuse service for any reason.
So what was your phone number?
Sorry, 510
Yes.
938 8594.
By the time we're all done, man, it's like, all right,
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so what do we get called out for? What's going on?
I would like to just not be harassed while I'm in Berkeley.
And who's harassing you?
This bookstore, the bookstore owners, and these people in the walkway. It's not like they were inside the store; they were in the walkway. That's a public walkway. They had a bookcase set up to block access, and I just tried to document. I just wanted to read. I wanted to attend this event as a participant.
What event are you talking about? Not sure?
Well, it was a sign right there. You want to? It's right there. You see? Well, they're just. You see that sign right there? We can go walking over and.
I'm just asking which event it was.
It's advertised on the sidewalk. It's October 29th event. I don't.
You don't know?
It's on the sign right there. It's on a public sign.
I'm just asking you. I'm trying to find out.
I'm not the organizer. I'm just an attendee.
I know. So I'm asking you what event you're attending.
Why that sign that's advertised? It's a bunch of gibberish. I just wanted to see what was going on. That's all.
Gotcha. All right. So what is your complaint? What's going on?
That they're violating my civil rights of public accommodation. There's this store right here. Well, I'd like to file a complaint that they harassed and intimidated and assaulted me by preventing me public access on the store. They weren't inside their store. They were on the walkway. It seems to me that I should be able to file a complaint. I'm giving you what that code is, and it's
What store are you talking about?
the Revolutionary Books,
Okay.
Revolution Books.
And who specifically is?
They wouldn't give me their name. I can introduce you if you'd like to go
Is
and.
it bystanders?
They wouldn't identify themselves.
Okay.
Can I point them out to you?
All right. You want to sit tight for a second? I'll go talk to them inside the store.
Sure. And can you get names too? They wouldn't give you a name to document. Appreciate your help. That's the event, by the way, if you want to read it before you get excluded. Pardon me, officer? That wasn't one of them. She wasn't even a witness.
Who is she?
I don't know. Sorry.
Hello.
Hi there. How you doing, sir?
All right.
Can I point out the people in case they disappear, who I think are I know are witnesses?
Witnesses to what?
Well, see, he's talking to somebody
It's assault.
who I didn't have any contact with whatsoever.
Well, we have to talk to everybody.
Well, do you want to talk to these guys too then?
We're talking to everybody.
All right, appreciate your help.
We're here.
That's cool. Appreciate your help. I'm just trying to solve the problem and use public accommodation and commerce to form a bridge, and I was prevented because
All
that
about bridges.
right. That's all I am too. I'm not here about closing down the business. They had an event. It was advertised publicly. I thought it was an invitation, and I was prevented on arbitrary basis. I was discriminated against. It's like Selma in 1960s, or even more illustrative to me is my mom was Japanese in the second half of the 20th century, and this is what happened. Based on arbitrary reasons, they went, "Oh no, we don't have to refuse service. We fixed that." I thought, and now we're reliving it all over again because they found different words to use that didn't apply to me.
We're here to fix things.
I appreciate it. No, I know. This is what it's about. This is what I'm hoping that will happen, because I think with commerce, trading beads that they did back in the old days, and between forts, and commerce is how the founders of our nation designed our country to succeed. And by preventing commerce on just arbitrary reasons, it breaks the system. Appreciate your help.
Just hang out and we'll figure everything out. Okay?
Well, I wouldn't be that optimistic, but I appreciate your
We're gonna do whatever we can.
I asked for written policy. I asked for articulated, reasonable, articulated reason. They wouldn't articulate a reason why. They just pointed to a sign and called me a fascist. that was intimidation and harassment in my book.
You just hang out here. I'm gonna see what's going on. I just came into everything, so I'm getting.
Yeah, it's all happened to me. I beat you by about 45 minutes, I guess, or an hour, whatever long it is. Hey, sir.
What happened?
Oh, I was discriminated against from being a customer at the store on open business hours. It's like I was black in Selma is the best way I could put it. Or for me, it's Japanese in the 20th century. That people they made up reasons why you couldn't go and buy stuff. And so I wasn't. This is my point is that it matters to me because I don't want to be interned if this happens again. And based on arbitrary reasons that I look like somebody that they got hurt by when they were a kid or something. This is what I'm fighting because my mom fought so gracefully and didn't budge, and she was American. They asked me what my race was, and I'm like, what am I supposed to say? I tell you what my heritage. You
Where
do
was
the police. I was offensive. Like they wanted a race, and I'm like, I'll tell you what my heritage is. You can fill in the paperwork. It's like I'm an American. Why was that matter? Why would race matter? And Asian isn't a race, right? It's Oriental or it's Caucasian or Mongoloid. It's like Asian, Indian or Asian, right? Russian, Israel's Asian, Middle East Asian, so parts of it at least. In any case, thank you for stopping, guys.
Literally, consider it to be 3 races in the world: Negroid, Mongoloid, Caucasoid.
I think that there's one, and it's called the human race, and we just look different. We have different fashion, different culture.
Well, I would say it's a little bit more than that, though, of course. So, ethnic groups, as far as diseases,
that's true.
hormone levels.
That's true. That's true.
Africa, the most genetic diversity ever.
But what if, for example, the flu only affected people who hadn't been exposed to the disease before? Would that be a race, or would that just be people who haven't been exposed to the disease? So, did people who aren't affected by sickle cell anemia already lose their population a long time ago?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm a carrier of sickle cell.
Yeah, well,
I did a genetic test and everything on my end.
With the cool giddy up you got, I'd be wanting people to take pictures of me, but.
Hey, by the way, a witness is disappearing. Okay.
No one's disappearing.
Well,
so I'm gonna talk to you over.
I know, but I have to make sure that the right people are identified because basically they're picking arbitrary people
right. So
to be spokespeople. That woman has nothing to do with this incident.
So
she's making stuff up, literally making stuff up.
Your name, Trey?
Ty. How you doing?
Hi, Dan. So somebody floated around the word assault at some point. What assault are you talking about?
If they prevented my forward access by using goons and blocking my
your forward access to where?
To just a public access. If I blocked your way from moving right here, what would you call it? And you tried to move out of the way.
Where were you trying to go?
No, I'm asking you. What would you call it if you were blocked? If I blocked you, I would be arrested within a second,
so
right?
Where were you trying to go, Ty?
I was trying to gain access.
Were you trying to walk into the bookstore?
I was trying to. Well, initially, I was.
Okay.
And then I just wanted to talk to the owner. I wanted to identify an employee. I wanted to get a management statement. I asked him for a written piece of paper saying, "Hey, tell me why I'm excluded, and I'll leave." Okay. But they couldn't articulate anything. So to me, it's just discrimination.
Okay. So what I'll tell you is, any of the businesses here are private businesses, right? They don't have a right to tell you can't walk down this walkway, and you can't walk down those stairs, and you can't walk anywhere through this mall. But as far as their businesses are concerned, they do have a legal right to.
Do you know what a public accommodation law is?
Enlighten me.
Oh, I'm asking you because I was hoping that you'd come here to enforce it. It's basically a business that is open to the public has to allow the public to access that store and not discriminate based on arbitrary and capricious reasons.
Okay.
So they have to articulate, I'm a harassment, I did this, or there was no articulation of why I'm excluded. So basically, they could say somebody in a wheelchair. It's like Selma in 1960s.
You told me that.
Right, but I haven't heard you. I haven't heard you use it in a sentence so that it shows me you understand what discrimination is about. I was discriminated against and harassed, intimidated, and assaulted by not being able to move freely along this passageway.
Okay.
Just as you would arrest me if I blocked your access. Well, if,
Not
reasonably.
that's what would happen.
Reasonably, well,
Here's my question for you.
Yes, sir.
Is your concern about being able to enter the store right now, or is it about
No, not
being
right
able to
now.
walk
Right now, I want to
throughout the
document. I want to resolve this situation with commerce. I want to be a loyal. I want to be a loyal customer of Revolution Bookstore. What's that? Well, it's a little more complex because it's too late right now. It's at the time. Well, because they're closed, and I don't want to. I'm not here to disrupt their business. I'm here to just participate in this forum, and they can't prevent me on arbitrary reasons. There has to be an articulated reason.
So at this point, they're not going to let you inside the business. If you want to walk,
Well, I want to file. It's a criminal complaint against harassment and assault. If I prevented your access from moving in a public walkway, that's not a crime.
again, are we talking about the walkway, or are we talking?
That's
about
where the crime happened. Absolutely, I'll demonstrate where it happened.
Hold on a second. I'm
Okay.
just talking to you right now.
Sorry, sir.
Okay. So I'm talking to the other party.
Well, that she had.
You want me to finish, or?
Because you said the other party, that wasn't the other party. You talked to people who weren't involved in the process.
Okay.
So I'm confused. I think you got a wrong statement. Nobody identified themselves. I never got one name on, so for me, they're just harassing me. That's all.
So what I was explaining to you is they're not going to allow you inside the bookstore.
Okay.
So that's one issue.
Sure.
Yeah. They're not going to let you inside it.
Sure.
Your next issue is that you're talking about the walkway here. Okay.
Right.
You're saying that you don't know who it was that was blocking you from walking.
I
down
can
the
point.
walkway.
I can point out right now, but
You just said that you can't.
I don't.
Give
They
their
didn't.
identification.
Yeah.
And say who they were.
Okay.
She had nothing to do with it. All she was. She might have been a witness, only partial time, but it was the other people who. I'm surprised you didn't get a statement from them. That's all. So I've told you everything in a reasonable
So
fashion.
I have your
And,
information. I think I have a pretty good understanding about what happened.
right. Oh, so you're trying to resolve the situation today. Could I get a written reason why I'm not allowed, just so I know not to come back here again?
Because they don't want you. They have the right
Yeah, but that's like being black in Selma. It's like being Japanese in the late 20th century. It's called discrimination.
It's a civil issue. You can sue them
If they
civilly.
told you it
Right.
was because of
So can I need a witness
Ty,
statement? Sorry,
Ty,
interrupting you.
So what did they tell you when they said
They didn't give me. They just blocked my access and called me and pointed to a sign and called me a
You're
fascist.
assuming you're assuming their motive, but they have the right to refuse
Yes.
service.
It's called a public accommodation law.
They didn't tell you.
This has
you
been
could-
this has been decided in case law.
You're gonna have
I'm
to listen.
fine.
So Ty,
I was discussing. You interrupted me, but I'll let you
okay,
continue.
So Ty, they didn't tell you couldn't come in because you are X, Y, Z. They didn't say.
Yes, they said. They said I was a fascist.
They said they
didn't give you a
they
reason.
Initially,
verbally-
they just blocked my. They physically blocked my access
So they didn't give you a reason and then later called you a fascist.
within 30 seconds.
But they didn't say you were not allowed in because you are.
They didn't. They just blocked my way.
So you're
They
saying
blocked my passage on a public access. They weren't inside the store.
this is the only public access.
Right, and so they weren't inside the
Between
store.
here and there, not
They weren't inside the store. I couldn't gain access to the door to even read.
That is no longer public access. The door is no longer public access. They don't have to let you in and then kick you out. They can tell you we don't want you in.
They could say that they don't let me in from the inside, but for example, what if I wanted to look for a policy on a window and they were blocking that policy? That's what I was looking for. I wanted to see.
That's not true. You said you wanted to go inside earlier.
Of course, because the circumstances changed.
Of this conversation.
No.
Changed.
You think there was one static moment the whole time through? Are you going to try to out-rationalize me? I'm saying this thing happened in a series of steps. I just walked in there. I didn't have any other intent except just to hear words and to be a customer.
Ty, proprietor of businesses at So, Ty, I'll
Yes, sir.
tell you this, and this is the way it's going to happen.
Okay, I understood.
No crime has occurred. We're going to tell you that right now.
Based on your analysis, could I get identification from a store owner?
You're not.
Well, how do I file a civil complaint?
So if you want to, you can do anything you want civilly, but nothing criminally has occurred.
Well, how do you know that?
Because that is my job to determine that.
Okay.
That is our job to determine that.
Could I point out? Can I make a citizen's arrest?
No, because there was no crime.
How do you know? I'm alleging that there's a crime.
Based off of your statement of what happened and our analysis of what happened, we have determined that no crime has occurred. And
No,
that
understood.
that is where this is.
And all I'm asking is an incident report number.
We can give you an incident report number.
Can you
This is
talk?
going to be it's going to be documented.
All right, but can I point out the witness? You don't even know who I'm pointing out. That's kind of
Well,
bizarre.
witnesses aren't suspects, right?
I'm trying to point out the people who potentially committed a crime, and you might be just making a legal determination. Well,
Witnesses are people who
okay.
saw something.
What do you want me to call them? What do you want me to call them? Interested parties, or what do you? What's the? Excuse me, I was talking. Do you want me to call them interested parties? What's the term before?
What I'm telling you is that A, no crime has occurred, therefore no arrests will be made. You have every right as a citizen to pursue whatever you want civilly,
right?
But we have no involvement in that.
I can't identify.
You have no. You have. They have no obligation to provide you any identification as to who they are within this store, because there's no obligation they have.
But they blocked my passageway. They assaulted me by preventing my access back and forth.
You were
on this. I was
based off of what you're saying, what they said, and what
you haven't
we
even
are
talked to the
hearing,
people who communicated with me. You talked to a third party who had nothing to do with the incident. That's what's so bizarre.
Okay.
I haven't even been able to point out the people.
So Ty.
So you're making a determination without even considering all the parties.
This is the final decision
Okay,
that's being
I understand.
made. If you want to talk to a supervisor or something and let them tell you, that's
true.
fine.
Okay.
But nothing further is going to happen on our
I appreciate that. I'm just trying to exercise all the different avenues to try to get the right information.
But what we will tell you is that what is also decided is that you, based off of the people who own this place,
who are they? Can I get a name?
I have no obligation to tell you.
Okay. But how do I know if I was excluded by a lawful person?
Sir, I'm explaining to you this final decision. Okay?
Of course, I understand. I'm just trying to document the reason.
Okay, so you are not allowed to go in there.
Got it.
That's their
Based
decision.
upon whose authority?
The people, the proprietors of this business.
What store employee is the person who?
Give you that name. What store employee?
Okay.
Okay, so it would behoove you to no longer try and access that.
I'm not trying to access the place.
You have free access to walk down this pathway. No one can stop that from happening.
Okay. Is there a
This an
permitting
open
process for
walkway.
putting books out on the walkway?
Is there a permitting process for putting books on the walkway?
Yes. Is this legal? Is this?
Yes, they can, just like if you go to a Safeway and they have
I'm
free
asking.
stand out front,
Okay.
it's the exact same.
That's fine.
Is the walkway
They're right.
preventing your
If they said that you can't go in there individually, they can say that. They're
Well,
right.
I looked up the public accommodation laws, and I've actually done the research on this one because it's already been decided. This is what they did in the 60s. And pardon me, we're done.
well,
I
you're gonna
appreciate
have
it.
separate conversations
Exactly.
when we're
I
done.
appreciate it. No. I appreciate your
So what will
communication.
be documented? Do you want an incident number?
Yes, please.
I'll get you the incident number. Okay, I'll come back.
Sure. That's well. Are we precluded from? Are we cool? I mean,
I'm gonna get you the incident number.
I just thought that would be odd. That's all.
So it kind of appears that this isn't really going to go anywhere.
No, it's not.
for
I'm waiting
anybody,
for
so I just
communication
think
from you.
that
That's all.
probably
Appreciate your
gets
help.
to a point where it's kind of a bit of a waste of time. So
I'm
It's
waiting
just
for
kinda-
information.
You're right about the assault, but they're right about them being able to choose an individual
Both are
that
right.
can't come in.
Well, let's discuss this in another forum. But all I'm asking, looking for, is an incident report, and I'm on my way.
He's going to give you the
That's
number.
all. And again, all I wanted was a written reason why I couldn't come in, and I would have been on my way. But without that communication, there was no finality. There was no evidence for me to present. All right, cool. I want to resolve this in a civil court matter or whatever.
You have every right to do that.
Exactly. I'm not here to harass the business. I'm here to be lawful, and I'm here to be in a marketplace of ideas. And if a bookstore is not a marketplace of ideas, where is? Thank you. I mean, I'm not trying to win point, just
that's
because
I hear you.
I grew up watching this stuff, and I wasn't ever because I was good looking. I looked white. My mom was, and so thank you very much, sir. So all right, thank you very much for your help. All right.
Anything else we can do for you right now?
No, I just wanted to document this. That's all. And then what I would like to do is I'd like to try to. You still haven't identified the people who I said assaulted me, and that's what's specific.
Based on all the information you told me previously,
That you don't even
I've
need to
done
be that.
everything I can at this point. Okay.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thanks for your help. Are you? Is it by training or by order by a superior officer that you can't, that I can't identify the potential suspect if a determination that a crime was made
It's
happened
based
later
on
on?
all the information you've previously told me. Okay.
All right, so if I didn't articulate it in the right way, then I'm at fault, or because I'm saying I was prevented from accessing, from walking into a store for no reason.
You told me 2 minutes ago that you were done talking to us.
No, I know. I'm just
Is
so
that
I'm.
still the case?
No, now I'm just having a conversation with you. That's all. I appreciate your help. I'm done. I'm not trying to. Yeah, the whole thing for me is just to make progression in a civil manner. Thank you, guys. All right, I'm out of here. So there's no, you can't, a business can't just say, I'm sorry, we don't want you in here, because they have to articulate the reason why. Otherwise, it's just discrimination. I mean, you know, we've resolved all these issues before. That's why California has these rules. So I don't know. Walking home and see what happens. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Have you edited one of Jessica's posts?
17,659,33.
Power on. Pairing.
Huh.